Cool, man. Beau, thanks so much for joining Dale and I on Hard Rock Rewind. We've got a few things I'd love to chat to you today. Obviously, you guys dropped your 7th album, brand new album in September, Gallows. Killer album, by the way. You guys are also coming out next April with Memphis May Fire for the runners shows, which no doubt will definitely sell out. I noticed there's actually, before I get into that, Dale, you lead us off, man. Go for it.
Yeah. Dude, Beau, I was going to say that you and I have something in common, and you probably don't even know it, and you wouldn't know it because we don't know each other. But we've both saw Story of the Year live, right? And we're just like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, what is happening? Who are these guys? What is going on? I'd never seen anything like it in my life. And I think I'd seen an interview where you spoke about that briefly, but completely changed the trajectory of our musical outlook and what we thought we're capable of doing. Is that correct? Does that sound right?
Yeah, no, I totally did. Up until that point, I hadn't seen anyone on stage sort of with that energy and that just that active and doing flips and that, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I've been to hardcore shows, obviously. Like, I loved hardcore and heavy music, stuff like that. And but they just had something else, it was like a different they took it up to like a whole different level of entertainment and just the way they came out. And just for me, I was like, that like encompasses my energy and what I feel like I could bring to, if I ever started a band, I'm like, that's what I want to be. I want to leave the crowd feeling the same way, of like, holy shit, like you can do that. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So is that, do you think that's what fans can expect from this tour? So obviously you guys are coming out in April with Memphis May Fire, like Troy said, but is that the kind of energy and, is that what you guys are bringing to this tour? It's been a while since you've been to Australia.
It's been so long, and I don't even know. I think it's at least 9 or 10 years, if not longer. And because we're going to Jakarta right after, and someone said it's been 13 years since you've been to Jakarta, and I'm like, holy shit, that's crazy. Like,
that's crazy.
I'm like, so yeah, I what's funny is that when we first started our band and I first started going on stages, I was like, I don't care about singing. I just want to be in people's faces. I want to like them to feel the energy. Who cares what notes I hit? And then, it's gone from that to like, especially playing these giant festivals that we've been playing, like the Danny Wimmer festivals, like Welcome to Rockville's, and we got Sonic Temple coming up, and the Warped Tours. Warped Tour was like the biggest crowd in Long Beach history for a concert. So it's like
insane.
Yeah, it was like 85,000 people, whatever. And then they're streaming it on Amazon Prime. And I'm like, I should probably also sound, like,
yes.
And not that I totally didn't care about that before, but it was like, it was like almost an afterthought of like, I want to make sure people are engaged and they feel the energy and they go home like, holy shit, like that guy gives a shit. You know what I mean? Like but now it's a balance. It's a balance of bring the energy, but also like sound great for the old, like our fans are getting older, and there's a lot of people that are just sitting around watching, honestly, like, obviously there's people in the pit, but there's a whole other, large group of people who are like, I'm going to be not in the pit and I'm going to stay safe and I want to enjoy this band. And so, it's been just an evolution of like, okay, try to sound, as good as possible, but also like, bring it still. So it'll be a balance for sure. It'll be a balance. It takes a lot to keep me out of the crowd. Like, I love to just be in the barricade, and it's just, there's something about it that you can't get that anywhere else. You can't get the feeling anywhere else. Even playing in front of 100,000 people, like, you don't get that same feeling you do when there's like people grabbing you, holding the mic, singing with you and stuff like that. It's so special.
Yeah.
Dude, I checked out. Yeah, man, I was a couple of weeks ago, actually, or might have been even longer, when I watched the Long Beach one, because I was looking up Amblin, actually. I was looking for Matty Mullen stuff, and I noticed that they had theirs up on the YouTube of the Long Beach Warped Tour show, and that was awesome. And I just went through the videos and saw you guys play. And then recently, I think you guys just dropped it was either from your website, sorry, YouTube or theirs. You guys played the Orlando one. And it was, yeah, it looked awesome, man. Like vibes are high. You guys are killing it on stage. So bringing that to this tour that you're coming out with Memphis in April, I mean, do you guys know the guys? Like, how did you guys, and as you said, like it's been nearly about, I think, if I did my research correctly, I think it was 2016 with Asking Alexandra. That's when you last came. How did you guys get the tap on the shoulder for this time around?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was so fun. We love those dudes. Those guys are like some of our best friends to tour with. Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, so we had originally we had the offer for the Jakarta festival where My Chemical Romance is headlining, which is insane. So
Wow.
I get to say we play with My Chem,
That's so good. How good's that?
Huge brag. Yeah, huge brag. Yeah, so when that festival came up and that offer came up, immediately I'm like, we have to go to Australia. Like we have to figure out, like, this is it. We're going to be out there. We have to figure out how to get to Australia. And, originally when our band kind of got back together and figured out we were going to start playing music again and hitting the road, Australia was high on our list. It's number one for overseas. It was like, Japan, Australia was like, that's it. And so to be able to mark this one off the list is really special. Like, it's just such a fun place to play, and the fans are so fucking cool. The coffee is delicious. Like I heard the weather's going to be awesome, and it's just an experience when we go down there. And there's one time we went cliff jumping every town that we went to. We actually took a van across a van tour, and it was the only time we've ever done that. People were like, "You're taking a van?" And we're like, "Yeah." It's like it was called the Boys of Summer Tour, and we're like, "Yeah, we're like, fuck it, let's just do the van." So our buddy Sam, he sings for a band called Antagonist. He was our driver, and immediately we hit it off. We were like, "Oh, this dude's like our boy." Like he was just like one of us that was just driving the van. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, and he's like, "What do you guys want to do?" Like, blah, blah, like, "What do you guys want to see?" We're like, "Dude, we want to cliff jump." And he's like, I know a spot. And so every town we went to, he would take us to some like really cool like water hole that had a cliff, like rocks we could jump off, and or the beach, the ocean had like this one part had like a bunch of cliffs that we jump. And so I think it would be really dope to do that again, like to get back in the water and jump off some shit. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So just talking about the new album, obviously, we kind of touched on the fact that, we're both influenced by Story of the Year. And obviously you guys got Dan for Fell So Hard, Felt So Right.
Yeah.
Was that hard to get these collabs? Because obviously you got Lockie Keogh from Alpha Wolf on there, our boy Matt Flood from Caskets. We've interviewed Matt. You've got Matt on there as well. Some super talented artists on there. Is it difficult to get people to kind of collab with on albums? Like, is it a hard thing to do? How do you approach that? And do they contribute with the songwriting process, or the song's basically done?
Yeah, the tough part is getting people that you don't really know. And even if you do know them, it's tough depending on the level of what they have going on. So like, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but there was a few people we reached out to, and they were too busy. Like originally it was like Lynn from Paris, who's like a buddy, and she's awesome, but she was just fucking slammed. Chris from Motionless in White couldn't do it. Caleb from Beartooth turned us down. And I think everyone had like something going on, some recording. We're in the studio, we're on the road, whatever else. So it has to really, like, the stars have to line up for that. And we got Matt from Caskets, which ended up, he was in town in LA at a certain point. Like, we're like, oh, in like 3 weeks he's coming through. We can like track him or whatever. And then Dan, same thing. Like we got him between like he was recording his album, and we snuck that in there. And then Lockie, he had nothing going on, and we basically we like to have the parts written, just so it's easier for the guest vocalist to go like, oh, sick, I can just take that rhythm or that melody and the lyrics and then just do my own vibe to it.
Yeah.
And that usually works out the best, unless you get someone that really, really like wants to write their own parts, which is fine too. And we send an instrumental, and we're like, hey, like, if you got something better, please do it. Like, we don't care, but like, here's the part, here's this. We'll do like a Jared or someone will do like the scream, or I'll do the vocal, whatever needs to go in there. So, yeah, it ended up working out. Like I said, the stars have to line up. People have to like not be on tour, not be recording their album, like just have some downtime to be able to do it. And it worked out. And yeah, Lockie's the best, man. His fucking scream's so nasty, dude. And he, like, I don't know, Alpha Wolf's so fucking cool. I'm so stoked that they like agreed to do it. And that's some people's favorite song on the record, which is really cool. So yeah, it turned out.
Yeah, sounds sick,
dude. You've done the timings right. Like, obviously you guys had quite a break between, I think, 18 and up until a year or so ago, or 2 years ago. Have you found, because definitely Dale and I, since we've been we only started the channel earlier this year, but we used to play in bands mid 2000s, early 2000s, and all this whole scene was like just blowing up, and as you said, Mikey and the U's and all that sort of stuff. So we were fully amongst it at that time. And now that 20-year resurgence, like, it's come around again, and a lot of the people we're talking to, like such yourself, that's been in bands that was started out around that sort of period, or just near that period, have said like it's blowing up. All these people our ages are going to shows. Like, no doubt these shows you're going to come out and play with Memphis are going to sell out, because we've been to a few of our own of bands in this scene. And it's so. Have you found that so much? Have you found that on tour so far, and the reception to your new album that it's come out? Have you found there's like this resurgence again amongst this sort of music live, and interest in new music from these bands as well, such as yourselves?
Yeah, I think so. It's really interesting. And the internet can be a beautiful thing or awful thing. And in our case, I think it's been a beautiful thing where people have found our music, and younger fans have found our music, and have discovered us or whatever, or heard from their. We got a lot of, when we did our Hollow Body 10-year anniversary tour. That was like our first tour back a few years back. And we had like all the old fans that were there. And then it was like, my older brother told me about you guys, or like, like my aunt or uncle told me about you, or like this and that. I'm like, that's so cool, and they're like, so there were like the teenagers sprinkled into the crowd still, which is really cool. And that's why we still like to play all ages shows. There'll be some times where we're like, we'll show up and then we realize the venue's 19 plus or 21 plus or whatever. And we're like, dude, what the fuck? Like, we'd like to keep it all ages just for that, just in case, right? Like, just in case those like younger fans are still coming out. And and it's, it's funny because like, even like on Instagram, like you'll see people commenting or whatever, like, and stuff. And they got like MySpace photos. It's like an angle like this. And
I know.
Yeah. It's coming back.
There's full scene kids out there now again, man. There's kids that have the whole, what we used to rock 05, 06, man, the Fringe and everything. It's wild.
That's crazy.
So wild. I'm like, what am I looking at? Is this an old photo? Like, no, these are like new. And they got like the scene hair and like snake bites, and like, I'm like, fuck it, dude, let's go. Like, that's so sick. Like, it's just something, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, it almost makes me feel a little old, because I'm like, holy shit, I lived through like this was really cool. I lived before it was cool, and then when it was cool, and then it was really not cool, and now it's bad. I'm like, holy crap, like, I'm still here. So no, it's really great for the scene. And I think like the metalcore scene is so small and so tight knit in a way, where like a lot of the bands, not a lot of the bands, I'm sorry, a few of the bands have sort of reached like astronomical heights by like changing their sound and going whatever, that's cool, like turning radio and everything else. And I think like for us at this point, if we're gonna write like a song that's like a radio song, it's because we like the song. We actually truly like, we're like, we're not gonna try to write something to like, just so it gets played in a commercial or something or whatever. But I think like staying true to the metalcore scene has been like, I don't know, it's just like really fulfilling to see like that we have a fan base, here, and we can put out like Gallows is very like metalcore, and it's like it's unabashedly metalcore. There's nothing. There's no. It's sort of just like it's us, but an updated sound. I guess you could say like it sounds current, but it also has like those nostalgic riffs and stuff like that in it. So I think it's awesome to be a part of something so like so small and niche and like actually make a living off of it too. So,
yeah, totally.
So I was going to say
the last question, brother.
Yeah, well, I was going to say with Hard Feelings being your most recent previous album to Gallows. I mean, obviously that's 7 years ago. There were a couple of radio friendly-ish, I'd say radio friendly-ish, but Sleepless in Phoenix was one. When I heard that song, I'm like, dude, like this song should absolutely blow up. It's still probably one of my all-time favorite songs, I think. Was there pressure to follow up that album? Because that was a pretty iconic album. Like that was, from start to finish was just an absolute killer album. Was there pressure to follow that up, and being that there was some time in between, did you guys feel that pressure? Or were you just, hey man, we're just psyched to be back, let's just get in and do something, and that really wasn't a thought at all?
Yeah, I think there wasn't very much pressure, just because, like you said, like no one knew we were getting back together. We kind of just did it silently, and just kind of did our own thing at our own pace. And I hated going into a studio for like 2 months at a time and like being away from everyone, locking yourself, like when they're like, we got to lock ourselves in the studio. I'm like, oh God, that sounds fucking awful. Like it sounds like prison. Like,
yeah.
Because then it feels like you're like, you got to do a job. Now it's time to work and do your job. And it's like, well, that's not what I signed. I signed up for just like making music for fun and hopefully people like it. So, the last couple albums sort of felt that way. And so for this one, when we decided to kind of be a band again and really like go for it, we just did it when we felt like we were inspired. Or, every few months I would fly to LA and get in the studio and record a song and then come back home and live home life, and then, Eric would fly out and he would write some stuff. Then I would fly out and meet them. And then it was almost like I was just looking forward towards the hang of like, let's fucking hang out. Let's go get our favorite food and ice cream and then write some music at the same time. It was more like it was just less pressure and more chill. And we did it because we wanted to do it. And that was the most important part. Not like, all right, album deadline. They need the album by this date, let's go. So that just allowed us the freedom to like write shit and scrap it if we didn't like it. And, and there was stuff like that where like in the beginning, I could not find my voice again. I was like, what is going on? Like I was trying to write and couldn't come with anything cool. And it took a while to finally get it. And I'm like, I'm glad I had this time. I'm glad no one knew I was in the studio and they were expecting to hear something. And there's always the guy, the people in the studio, they're like, big things coming, like, oh, like a picture of the microphone and it's like,
yeah.
Oh, you're recording a song? Okay, we know. Cool. We know how that works. Like, is it done? Like what, like people are their attention span is so short. Like they're going to forget it next week. It's gone. And so, our approach was just like, hey, when it's ready, it's ready. And then we'll just drop it on people and either they care or they don't, and, the idea was just write the best songs possible that we love and that the fans love. Like that was our main focus, is like the fans.
Yeah.
They have to love it. And because they're buying the music, they're the ones that are supporting us. So that this album was for them. And I think, sometimes bands get away from that a little bit. And like you said, like Sleeps in Phoenix, like Hey Baby is like a radio. Like there's songs that we've written that can be played on the radio, but it wasn't like we wrote them to be radio songs. It's just because, that's our sensibility. I have like the pop sensibility. I love pop music. Honestly, like I love pop punk. I love like all sorts of stuff like that. At least listen to Bieber a lot, like all that shit.
Yeah.
But I like heavy music too. So I think like adding that are, the things that we enjoy into our band is super important. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Mate, Beau, unfortunately we have to wrap it up there. That's our time, man. Thank you so much for joining on, guys. I'll just go over the dates that you guys are coming out next April with Memphis Mayfire. So you got Friday the 24th of April in Melbourne, Saturday the 25th of April in Sydney, Sunday the 26th of April in Brisbane, Tuesday the 28th of April in Adelaide, and finally Wednesday the 29th of April in Perth. If you haven't got tickets, You can get your tickets at thephoenix.au. Beau, brother, thanks again, man. All the best with future touring. Album Gallows, man. Honestly, it's a killer album. Hopefully we can make the gig in April next year. And thanks so much, man, for being on the channel.
All right, guys.
See you,
Thank you
bro.
so much.